Hi, it's Anne here, and today's video is going to be a little different for me. I don't normally do these kinds of videos. I try and keep it positive on my channel, but you know, sometimes we all love a good roast. And so today's video is all about roasting makeup. This is a step beyond just anti-haul, although quasi-anti-haul, because I don't think I'm interested in any of these things, but this is more just like, what were they thinking? For the most part, for these items. Again, just want to say this is just for fun. If you're offended by this, I apologize. If you like any of these videos, any of these products, I apologize. Again, I'm just having a bit of fun here. Don't take it too seriously. It's just makeup. If you're taking this too seriously, maybe you need to go outside and look at a tree. Just calm down a little. So anyway, I'm gonna sketch myself to the side here, so that we can post some things on the screen. And we're not going to go through a whole lot today. I'm just sort of pulling out things that are from this past year-ish that kind of made me go, WTF? Or what were they thinking? Let's start off a little milder. So the first thing I want to start off with is this Cali Ray Endless Sunset Face and Eyeshadow Talc-Free palette. Now, in theory, I mean, it's good. It's talc-free. I know Cali Ray is like a clean beauty brand, but I hate when brands try to be like cool and different with like unusual shapes for their palettes. Like, it's wholly unnecessary and it's a waste of space. Like, I feel like this palette is a waste of space. This palette itself retails for $55 or $65? I can't see, it's crossed out. It's on sale for $46, which I still think is too expensive for this palette. Their little thing about like natural looks and sultry looks, like, where are you getting that sultry from? You're getting the sultry from some black eyeliner or like deep brown eyeliner. Like, that's not in the palette whatsoever. So like, that just irritates me when they're like misleading. It's not sultry. It's a natural palette. Just go with it. Lean into it if that's what you are. And again, I feel like, I mean, one good thing about this is like it does say face and eyeshadow, and it definitely is laid out in a way that's like, yeah, that's obviously a blush. Then you have like a bronzer contour. But like the shade in the top left and the shade in the bottom right look so similar. And then the two middle shades, again, I don't think there's enough depth between them to really get anything out of that, like, unless you're like the palest of pales like me, and I'm not even really the palest of pales. Oh, they have a shade WT Fox. Well, you should have really thought about WT Fox on this one. So yeah, not super impressed by that. So the next thing I want to talk about is Natasha Denona. So Natasha Denona, it feels like when you hear this brand on YouTube, it's like she can do no wrong. Everything's great. Every palette's great. Everything's great. It's great. It's great. I love it. I love it. Yet this palette, the mini pastel palette, how many people have you seen talk about this? How many people have you seen when you see like their palette collection and like, look at all my Natasha Denona. Do you see this palette in there? Because I never see it. I never see it. It retails for a whopping $38 Canadian on Beautylish for 5 shadows. The one shade on the end kind of looks interesting in their like promo shots, I guess. Like they make it look like a rainbow, but it's not. I feel like, again, that's misleading. And who wanted this palette? Like, who asked for this? I don't know. I just feel like it's a very awkward palette in its color story. I don't know. I can see like some people liking it, but not many. Like, it's just awkward. It's awkward to me. It's super awkward. The other thing that came out with this was a highlighter. And this highlighter, again, retails for a whopping $59. And it's the Pastel Plexi Glow Highlighter. Like, does anybody remember this release? Like, I don't think anybody remembers this. This came out, I think, in January is what I understand. If I'm wrong, I'll correct myself on the screen. This highlighter, in theory, looks cool. I love the way it's sort of like in the promo shot, has like the pink to sort of the icy middle to like the green on the bottom. And then I see the swatch and I'm like, wah, wah, wah. Like, it doesn't look interesting at all. Again, maybe it looks really good on the skin, but it just looks kind of, I don't want to say mediocre. I'm sure the quality of it is really good. But yeah, the swatch just kind of looks like every other Goldie Champagne highlighter. Like, it just seemed like a really missed opportunity to do something interesting. And it could have been this really cool, like, I'm thinking like a Kaleidos type highlighter. So when I was trying to pull this video together, I obviously went to Trendmood to see kind of what was released this year, what kind of things stood out to me, what things didn't. And this one in particular stood out to me because it was Hourglass. So I'm not talking about the Hourglass palettes that just came out this fall. Like, there was this, like, you couldn't turn on a YouTube channel without somebody gushing about the Hourglass palettes this fall. They really, like, they do a palette every fall for their, like, holiday launch, and it's 90%, it's always, like, you know, positive. There was a couple years there where it was a little iffy, but this year I feel like everybody was losing their frickin' minds over these palettes. So did you know, or do you remember, that Hourglass released 2 palettes earlier this year, which I completely forgot about, and I can't even, like, I'm trying to quickly search for them on, like, the internet, and I can't find them. They were, I guess, limited edition, I think. But one was the Ambient Lighting Edit and Sculpt set, and the other was the Ambient Lighting Edit Blush and Glow. And there was a third one. Sorry, what is the third one? Ambient Lighting Palette Diffused Rose Edit. So, like, people, I just find it, this is like a criticism of, I think, the beauty community in general. It's like, and then of the brand. So one thing, it's like people lost their freaking minds over the ambient palettes over the holiday season. But then these palettes, I don't remember anybody talking about them, and nobody's mentioned them since. And they've just sort of like quietly disappeared. I mean, maybe they're on their website and I just can't find them. But I will say, so one, my criticism of is the beauty community. We just, like, I feel like hype comes up on certain products, and I'm not sure why, and other products that are very, very similar are, like, completely ignored and not nearly as hyped up. So, like, I feel like take hype with a grain of salt. But then my criticism for this is against Hourglass, because I think why this first launch that happened, it happened in, like, May, I think, failed. They look beautiful, but the issue is they're too same. Nobody really, the average person doesn't need, like, a full bronzer palette or a full blush palette. What's more practical is, like, bronzer, blush, and highlight with, like, a setting powder. I think that's one of the reasons why the fall palettes are definitely more hyped up, because you get a better grouping of products. Like, I don't really need 4 different bronzers and a couple highlights in a palette, or like 4 different blushes and 2 highlights and a setting powder. Like, it's not useful. And then they had this 3-pan palette that I just did not get at all. It had 1 blush in the middle, and then I think a setting powder and a highlight. Does it say it's trio? So it just says limited edition palette featuring a trio of ambient lighting powders to blur and enhance and highlight. Yeah, I just think that falls flat for the average consumer. The other thing too is the packaging of the fall palettes this year. So this set of palettes is like the typical, like the palette I have kind of looks like these, and the palette I have is from 2018, and it's a very similar packaging. Like, it's pretty, but it's nothing new. Whereas the new designs for the fall palettes are definitely, like, interesting and exciting, and people really like them. I found this really funny when I was scrolling through Trendmood. I'm like, huh? There were ambient palettes earlier this year? I totally did not remember these. Like, they're just not memorable, and I think that's for a reason why they just never really took off. But I do find it interesting that I don't think anybody talked about these, yet the new fall palettes, everybody and their mother was like, oh my god, you gotta buy one. And I'll be honest, I totally would have bought one, but I have a palette that I still haven't finished, and until I make more progress on that actual palette, I'm not buying a new one. I have to not buy a new one, because I totally have fallen to the hype, and I do like it. I do have, like, the older palette, and I do really like it, so I get the hype on the product itself. But yeah, I feel like when you hear so much about a product, and you see it everywhere, it does make you feel a lot of FOMO. And you gotta like bring it back to earth and be like, it's okay. So my life will still continue to exist and I will be fine without that palette. I feel like I need to tell that to myself a lot, especially lately. Speaking of palettes, let's pick on Too Faced for a little bit. In around March, Too Faced launched the Italian Spritz palette. So this palette was their typical tin style packaging. I really think the color story of this was actually excellent. I never bought this palette and I kind of wish I did. It's on the Too Faced site right now on sale for $37. Too Faced does not ship to Canada anymore, so they can suck it. But this palette, like, yeah, it's, and I'm pretty sure reviews were that it was really good. It was the typical quality of their tin palette pans. But I'm not sure what I was trying to say there, but they're tin palettes. Like, I have the spicy one. I had the Too Faced chocolate one. No, I had it. I took it apart. Forgot about that. Bonbons. Like, the quality of those palettes and the style of those palettes are excellent. I feel like this is a really good palette, really good color story, really like a really nice launch from Too Faced. Then, for whatever freaking reason, they decided to launch their fall palette, not in tin packaging, in cardboard packaging, and it's this Maple Syrup Pancakes eyeshadow palette. I don't know what about this is maple syrup pancakes, except for maybe 2 shades. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. And again, speaking of shades, the shades in this are kind of like wah, 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 wah. And I feel like I've heard the quality of this one is not good. So it's like, what the heck, man? Too Faced. Why do you do such a good launch with the Italian Spritz and then you go back to this stupid cardboard packaging garbage? Like, I don't understand. You already have the cardboard packaging garbage that's in the cutesy holiday packaging that's really good for giftable stuff. And I shouldn't say that's garbage, because I think that has a place. I actually have wanted to buy that. They actually had a set at like Winners or Marshalls, like one of the holiday sets from last year, but it was like $50, and I'm like, I'm not paying $50 for that. Like, if it was $24.99, I would have bought it, but $50, no way. Because I think retail it was like 60 something, or maybe a bit more in Canada. But like, yeah, I get those like cutesy like Nutcracker or like Winter Wonderland, the little like, and again, you can split it out to gift. I think it's really good makeup for people that don't wear a lot of makeup. Again, it's very giftable, very Christmassy. I think it's super cute. But like this is just dumb. Like, dumb. Like, it was a waste of time and money and energy. Like, why did you do this? Why? Too Faced. Whose idea was this? Like, even the packaging looks like Makeup Revolution. Like, it looks cheap to me. And I hate saying that in a bad sense, because I like cheap things. But, like, it's so, ugh. And you know what's really funny? I'm on their website right now. They don't have any pictures, like, of the front of the package. It's just, like, the inside of the package. I think that's really, really interesting. They have, like, when you look at all, like, the, you know, sort of all the products page, you can see the front and then the palette, but when you actually click on it, there's no picture of the front. So, like, even I think they know that it looks ugly and stupid. Like, I don't want to say stupid, that's not a good thing, but it just looks ugly. Like, it is that ugly. I don't know what you were thinking. So this, I didn't even know existed again until I was looking at the trend mood, like, kind of reviewing everything. And again, this is like a, what were you thinking? So ironically, I just bought the Rose Quartz palette from Huda Beauty that has the stupid Petri dish shade, which I get it's kind of like an eye gloss shade, but I just think they could have just swirled it all together. It would have been fine, but no, it looks like, you know, something has infected the eyeshadow. For some reason, Makeup Revolution decided to create 2 highlighters that look like Petri dishes. Like, why would you do that? Like, no, it looks terrible. I'm sure, like, the swatches, and this is the thing that really interests me about this. Sorry, I'm just watching the little video now. So I want to see what their swatch looks like. So the swatch on her finger looks pretty good. But the swatch that they have, like, in their promo looks way more pigmented. Like an eyeshadow pigment. Oh, that looks really bad. Oh, that gold one looked horrible. Why would you use that as your video swatch? Like, she went in way too hard, first of all. Like, and just, like, mashed it. I'm watching it a second time because I'm like, why? That is so bad. It's just... No. I don't even have words for it because it's so bad. I'm hoping I can, like, play this video for you. I'll try and make sure I figure out how to insert that. But, oh, honey. I mean, thank God it's only... Well, it's in euro. When I looked on their website, it's like €5. So, it's definitely not worth any more than that. Whew. Child, that's just wrong. I mean, sometimes a product like this gets hype because it's funky, but not in a good way. But, I mean, it gets people talking about it, I guess. But, I just, no thank you. No, thank you. Okay, this next one. Okay, I have to look. I'm afraid to look this up on my computer because I'm afraid what's gonna happen. So, again, this was me scrolling through Trend Moods things just to see what kind of stood out to me. So this brand, I've seen products from them before. They have, like, lipsticks that have, like, a, I forget what you call it, but, like, looks like a belly ring or, like, a ring that you'd have on the top of your ear on the top. And I think it's functional on the top of their, like, lip products. But then they have these lipsticks and lip balms. I'm going to blur it. Because I'm afraid that I'm going to get, like, blacklisted for putting these up. But I was just like, what are you thinking? What are you thinking doing this? Like, I get trying to be edgy and cool and interesting, but this is just dumb. Like, this is just pointless. Like, this is just shock value for the point of shock value. And it's a freaking $95. Is that Canadian or is that US? Either way, that's way too much money. Like, who is buying this? And where are you using this? Like, are you pulling this out at work? Are you pulling this out on the subway? Are you pulling this out, like, at grandma's? Like, I don't understand this whatsoever. It's just, like, what were you thinking? I'm just curious to know, has anybody ever bought this? Why did you buy it? What am I not understanding? Like, I know I'm a bit of a prude. I get it. I accept it. But I get certain things are, like, funny or haha or, like, you know, again, shock value. But this is just, again, like, why? Why? What's the point? And I can see, I know exactly what they're doing in their promo pictures. Like, it's kind of part of, like, actually going back to Too Faced. Sometimes Too Faced does things, like, way too sexualized for me. And even NARS does it too with some of their product names. But I feel like NARS is kind of, I mean, they're stuck with orgasm. They've kind of got stuck with that. But it almost has, like, no meaning anymore when it comes to NARS. But I feel like Too Faced has done this on and off in the past. And you're just like, Too Faced, just don't. Like, it's dumb. And I feel like this is the same thing. Like, this picture. Like, I see exactly what you're doing in this picture. And I just find it, I don't want to say offensive, because it doesn't offend me. But it's just tacky. Like, I find it tacky. It's so lame. And again, who are you advertising this to? Who is finding that attractive? Because I certainly am not. I don't know. I just think this was just like, and yeah, when I'm scrolling through Trend Mood, I was like, whoa, what do we have here? What am I looking at? What is going on? Okay, I'm going to pick on something that I kind of don't want to pick on, but I'm going to pick on it anyway. It just feels like this launch is like 6 years too late. So it's the new beauty brand from Carly Bible. And I will admit, I don't watch her anymore. I don't follow her. I don't know what she is up to. She's one of the first, she's actually the first beauty YouTuber that I ever watched because I was looking for a specific makeup look. And then I was like, oh, there's makeup videos on YouTube. And then, and now we're here. But I stopped watching her like years ago, just because I felt like her style and my style didn't jive. I actually really don't watch very many large like beauty brands at all. But I just feel like this launch falls flat. And I hate criticizing it because I feel like I actually was kind of like, you know what, the products, it actually looks pretty good. The palette's kind of meh, but it looks pretty. Even like the highlighters, like the packaging, the lipstick packaging looks really pretty. I'm not so sure about like, she's kind of done the detailing on the sides of the packaging, and it's maybe a little too much detail to the point where it looks like muddy. But again, I don't know what it would look like in person. And then I flipped over, like I looked at the other picture from Trend Mood, and I was like, what is this? So first of all, I don't know if this is her promo shots for this, like if these are the product shot, not promo shot, product shot, because that's a weird product shot. I'm hoping these are like just shots, like she was, you know, they're from stories or something, because like the angle of the swatches for the I'm assuming it's a black eyeliner, liquid eyeliner is weird. But this eyeliner, okay, first of all, it's not going to be comfortable to use because it's got these weird encrusted things. They're not even jewels. Like, I don't know, they're dots. These little stone dots. And then, like, I'm so weirded out by, like, there's one weird dark black one, and then there's, like, a mid-tone blue one, and then there's these two orange ones. Like, there's no pattern. Where's the pattern? It hurts my brain. Why? Why'd you do that? Why is it, like... I don't know. Again, I haven't watched anything about Carly Bible. I don't even know how much this costs. I don't know if there is, like, if maybe if you look at it from far away, you can see an interesting pattern. Maybe it was explained somewhere, but I don't know. See, like, I just feel like, and again, if this had come out maybe 6 years ago, I would have been all over this. Like, I bought the deluxe palette. Like, I missed out on her first BH Cosmetics palette, and I was a little sad. And then I saw that they had the deluxe palette. I'm like, oh, this is way better. And I loved that palette. I used it as my pan that palette one year. I finished pretty much everything. I'm still finishing. I finished an eyeshadow this year. I'm still like finishing some of those shadows because I like them so much that I don't want to get rid of them. I want to finish them. But like, does anybody watch Carly Bible anymore? And I think the thing of Carly Bible is her style was kind of very peak. I don't want to say Kim Kardashian, but it's close to it. I was never a Kardashian fan, but like Kardashians were very popular then, and I felt like she fit into that style, and it was like, yeah. And then she's never really changed those since then. So I feel like her style is kind of dated, and I don't like saying that because I wear the same freaking makeup every day, basically. But I hope you know what I mean. Like, it's just, I don't know. I feel bad for her because I don't know if this is going to be like as big of a launch as it could have been. And I know she had like a clothing brand that I think has done fairly well. Again, not my style at all. I'm wearing a sweatshirt, like not my style, but I don't know. I feel bad about roasting it, but I kind of need to roast it because I'm like, this just, you know, I wish you all the best of luck. I wish you no furry lipsticks in your future, because holy hell. Anyway, let's end off on one that I think y'all know that I'm gonna roast, because if I don't roast it, who am I? So I'm actually gonna pick another palette first. No, let's just go in with it. So I'm roasting this. And I don't want to talk about the person. Let's just talk about the makeup, because I have feels about a lot of popular beauty YouTubers. Like I said, just not my style, not my thing. Don't really get why they're popular, but it's fine. But the thing about this, when I saw it, it wasn't even the size of the palette or the color story, it was the arm. What is going on with the arm? Like, I just imagine her arm is like, I can't even do it. Like, I was just like, I zoomed in on like the armpit. I'm like, what happened? And then I zoomed in on her hand because I'm like, how is is it glued to the top of her fingers? Sorry, I just had to restart because my camera was flashing at me. So hopefully I didn't cut myself off on this. But yeah, like the photoshopping on this just killed me. I was like, what is this? palette aside, I like this color story. Like, on the positive, I like blues and I like nudes. I feel like the blues in this are too blue. I think if it veered towards more navy blue and, again, some softer blues, I feel like there's too much bright blue in this for it to be wearable. And then I'm just going to criticize, again, maybe this is me criticizing the person a little bit and the brand. Didn't this person get married in the summertime? So why are you advertising this as a wedding palette in the winter? You didn't have a winter wedding. Like, to me, that's like grift. That's grifty grift. That's so grifty to me because it's so disingenuous. Like, how long can you stretch your wedding stuff out? You can't stretch it out between seasons. Like, I don't get it. And it could be something like, I remember, again, I don't really want to talk about this person. Okay, I'm going to. Jaclyn Hill. She had a launch that I think was supposed to be a Christmas launch, but got delayed, so it ended up being a Valentine's launch. And some of the names kind of were funny, but she was able to spin it enough that it still fit, if I remember correctly. It didn't seem too awkward. You could tell that it was like probably supposed to be a winter, like a Christmas launch, but again, Valentine's is close enough to winter that it didn't feel too off. But this is just like grifty grift. Like, I don't, why? But again, to kind of poke fun of this brand, let's not just stick, it's not just this person. So I was looking back at previous launches, like again, through Trend Mood, and this was a previous launch from this brand. I think this brand is known, so the brand is P. Louise, is known for these large palettes, but like, this is just ridiculous. Like, it's so, and again, to kind of make fun of another, let's just throw them all in there. A Mr. Star, he's had a few palettes like this that are just like so redundant, and this is just like, who's asking for this? Like, who is using this? This is way too much monochromatic. I don't mind a big palette. I just purchased one, but it has more variety than this. I just feel like the bottom two left shades, they're like identical. Like, you can pull out the shades. Like, I can pull out shades that there's some unique ones. Like, I don't even know how to say this, but like, third from the right in the top eyeshadow row, that's a unique shade. If I go from the left, second row, third over, that's really unique. You know what I mean? But then, like, on the left, did I say right? I can't even know what I said. I'll circle them. But like, when you look at the left, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 shades there. 5 shades. 6. Look identical, almost. And I bet you on the eyes, they're going to look pretty much the same. So like, yeah, just this whole brand. I mean, and I think this brand has really good stuff from what I understand. Like, I think they have like cream eyeshadows that people like. I think it's a UK brand. But yeah, this, again, not to make fun of that palette or the person, but that Photoshop job is so bad. And then the fact that it's like a wedding palette, but come on. All right, I am losing my light really, really quickly, and it's 2:30 in the afternoon. I hate winter so much. It gets light. Once we hit December 21st, then we go back on the upswing again. It's fine. Anyway, I'd love to know what makeup item or beauty item that came out this past year, or even not, even if it was earlier, that you're like, WTF? What is this? Why did they do this? There is one palette that I forgot to mention, but I'm not gonna go there because it's like, I kind of like it. There were a couple things that I didn't mention, but they were on the list. But I feel like we've been talking long enough. We've done enough roasting for today. We need to cleanse the palate. Let's go make a coffee or something. Go look at a tree. Go be happy again. If you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel here in Toronto, Canada. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye.